The French ones are usually longer because they indubiously use briefs. So even when skirts have been tailor-made, or even the highest grade, like that one, of the rack ones, are usually quite much longer for two reasons. Because they are meant to fit, even each size is meant to fit up to the tallest chap. Each collar size and either sort of chest size and sleeve and cuff width and bosom width. Third, even for the tallest chaps, it should still not only stay tucked in very easily, but have extra length to reuse, because once the cuffs are all worn out, they often cut out a piece and then put another piece of cloth and we use that to patch the shed where it might be seen, like in the cuffs and collar and all. And also, the German, French and all ones, to be worn as proper briefs, right? But here, since it is a British one, for the tallest chaps, they were not really expecting to, more expecting it, alright. So if you can wear it as briefs, or for the shortest chaps, well, they should have to either cut or gather and hem like I did here, the sleeve. For the tallest, shortest chaps, that require that neck width and bosom width and sleeve and chest size. And probably what most would do is all the extra length, they would actually cut it. Now clearly the chap was not very short for the period, because bear in mind that they were usually 10 centimeters shorter. So I am the average height also for British, which is exactly 178. I am in fact the average height for people in between the ages of 19 to 30. So for all ages confused, I am a little bit tall. So back then I would be the equivalent of a person of 168 in the 70 meters. So a person of clearly my height, or a tad shorter, because he hemmed the sleeve a tad shorter, but also that I have long arms for my height. It was probably my height. He was a tall person, so being that tall, he did not probably see the need to hem the shed. It does not look like it is hemmed, but yet the back does, because you see the back, usually the back is a tad longer, and there, if anything, it is a tad shorter, so he probably had the back cut and hemmed. And probably kept an extra cloth, but it had been lost since, if he ever should have needed it to patch the shed, which he clearly never did. So, the patches anyway, we test. Only the buttonhole there has been mended, no, not even been mended. So, there it can barely be used as briefs, but it's still long, but he probably did not really mind it. But he probably did not actually use it as briefs, or at least not as his only briefs. He might have did that, but then he would still have had an extra pair of under trousers, and or he wore combinations below that. So, hence it is not super long like the most French ones and or the few German ones that survive. Usually to have French actually, but not many German ones have survived because I don't know why. So, what I explain in the playlist. See, this shed is just super. With the calves like that, and see, not so much, the gathering of French sheds is usually more ostentatious in that period especially than upon the British or American ones, like here, whereby there is gathering, but small pleats, not those big sort of pleats like they do in more modern sheds, but it is not ostentatious because the sleeves are not that full. And there's just a different style, a more modern, I think, a cleaner look, a more military look. That was all the fade in the British and even Northeast American things, because the Northeast Americans copied the British back then. So, and the cloth is a good sort of British cloth. It is warmer than a lot of French sheds, which are more often warm, and thus it shall last longer. And this is just super. Although it is tight. The collar that he told me is 15.5. It is either, if it could be 15.5 buttonhole to buttonhole, but the problem could be that because the shoulders are too snug, it pulls the thing too down, whereas the collar should sit rather here, it sits there, and thus the start presses right against below my has a very large Adam's apple, and thus the doll has the impression of shaking its head. See, if I wear it with one of those, I don't want to tuck it into the trousers because I don't want to wrinkle it too much. I think she said she cleaned and she washed and ironed it, so I intend to not wash it or iron it, so as not to damage it further. It is impeccable in those sense before I wear it. I will not. The bosom is probably at least 4 layers, 5 layers, probably more 4. So it is clearly because the cloth is quite thick to start with. It is probably 120 plies to the yard, the cotton, perhaps with some linen, especially in the bosom, which seems a tad soft. And thus I shall, as I explained, wear it directly as such for the evening. I will just try it with the collar she sent. So I put that start back on the red shirt. And in order for that shirt to last as long as obviously possible, without tearing more, I do not think I shall wear it with the shirt to soft braces, because then it has so long it should really stay well tucked in, and I shall wear it with a stiff, starched waistcoat. It is already heavily starched from the early 20s. So I will just wear it like so, tucked into the trousers, surely not the under trousers, since indubitously one shall wear it with the thing there, with the combinations, which shall sit on top directly next to my skin. So this collar clearly says 16 there. We shall see if this is truly, if there's a lot of gap, it means that this collar is a 15 rather than a 15.15 rather than 15 and a half. Because ideally, usually it is best to have half an inch. That does not work. This back stud is not practical. It will work. I have the collars been starched, but I'm not starched. So shall we take that one? So by the font and all, I want to date that collar by the font. This is probably from the 30s, perhaps 40s, I would say not afterwards, especially in view that the style is very old. So this style, you could really wear it accurately as an in the 1890s or even 80s collar. See? It is a very antique looking collar. Actually, the collar must be a 15 and a half because although everything is unstarched now, which would mean it gives the most take, so it would be much harder to fasten, where the band collar and the removable collar heavily starched, and even like so, it was a little bit hard. I had to pull to really fasten it. And the collar is a 16, so the problem with that band collar being too tight is due to, I explained, the shoulders being too tight rather than the collar itself being too tight. because this color is a 16 and I do not intend, especially with evening wear, to wear anything light.